Let's turn around. You could get close to him. His water so clear. I think it's like a rock. As wildlife photographers, one of the biggest challenges we have in environments just like this, all this snow and the cold, is finding a good pair of gloves to keep our hands warm. And I've struggled with that constantly. I've never found a good pair of gloves, but today I think I do. So let's talk about it.
We're good.
Yes, so. Yeah.
Oh, something just came up and down right there, closer. Yeah, a lot closer.
Oh, look here.
We need our binos.
You were right.
No.
You were right.
Heidi, did you hear that?
You were right. With the first picture, I was like, I didn't see the beak. The first picture, I was like, okay, I see a lot of black.
I just saw that crazy hair in the back, and
I could make out the hair.
Yeah.
That's great. You can see the hair.
That'll never happen again.
I don't have my glasses on either, but we have the same vision. Photography gloves, a challenge for me, for you,
Absolutely
same way.
for me, yeah.
Forever, I've tried 20 or 30 types of gloves, just different things. Now, in this type of weather, we get cold in Alaska, you got to have some good warm gloves. Yeah. I've tried everything. I've done this silk glove under a mitten type thing. I've gone with heavy gloves that are heated, but you can't feel your camera. You can't work your camera with those gloves. I bought the photography gloves, ones that are, say, they're photography gloves with the breakaway fingers and stuff. The problem with those, my hands just freeze in those. With photography gloves that I bought in the past with the breakaway fingers, these two fingers, my index finger and my thumb, are frozen. I mean, I just might as well not have gloves on, I feel like, for those two fingers. They're just gone. The thing I found the best that's worked for me is two things. Either I have a big heavy pair of gloves that I take on and off when we're shooting Aurora. I just have to deal with it, take it on and off. Or a lot of times what I do is I take a mitten, and I'll have it on my right hand, and I'll have my trigger inside my mitten. And so I pull my thumb out of there. I'm just putting the mitten over like that, and I'm just working the trigger inside my mitten.
Inside it,
And I have a heated pad, but that's for real cold. But you still can't work the camera with that.
Right.
And the solution I've found that's worked best for me for out in the field, you see me all the time, people ask all the time, what kind of gloves you wearing? I keep wanting to say there's nothing special. They don't keep my hands warm. They're not warm gloves. They're just a pair of bow hunting gloves from Cabela's that are Gore-Tex, which basically that's what that does. All it's going to do is break the wind, keep a little bit of snow and water off of me. But like when we were in Seward, when we were with that wimbrel with the snow and had the water, we had some little bit of the tide was coming in on us, and we were getting a little bit of water, and I put my hand in those gloves in that water. You did the same thing.
I did the same thing. My hands are soaked.
And the gloves it permeated the whole glove, so soaked. But that's a different scenario than what we're talking about today. We're just talking about how do we keep our hands warm. Yeah. Today's only about 32, 33 degrees out here in Whittier, but it is gorgeous.
It is. It is.
We're just taking a shot of a barge over here with the reflections. Just gorgeous.
How fast it disappeared.
And we've seen a few ducks and a few birds. We're not seeing as much out here, which we didn't know how much we're going to get out here, but we just want to come over here in the winter. It is, because just, if you come to Alaska, you go to Anchorage, stop by Whittier. It's one of the prettiest places, I think, is around here just for scenery. It's just beautiful.
Breathtaking.
But back to the subject at hand, the gloves. They've always been I couldn't find a pair that kept my hands warm and I could work my camera. And with the gloves I got now, what I do is I keep the hand warmers in my pocket. Right. You and Heidi do the same thing. And we'll just, when your hand gets cold, you put your hand in there, wrap it around that electric heater, and just get your hands warm back up. And you guys will watch me in the video. I'm constantly taking the glove off to work it, putting it back on, back and forth constantly, and it just gets annoying. So what we have here today, we'll show you a little bit more about them, is some gloves. And Cassie has a pair on. I don't. Because if you watched my video a couple weeks ago about getting my truck broke into and robbed, my gloves that I've been testing, these same gloves for a few weeks, I've had, and they were in the truck, they got stolen. Luckily, the pair I had for Cassie were up in my house, and so she has a pair. So she's using them today to check them
I'm
out.
good. The thief didn't get my
I'm
gloves.
just keeping my hands, because it's only 32. I can put my hands back in my pocket on the heater and I'm good to go and keep them back warm. But she's going to tell you what she thinks of them today. I'm going to tell you what I thought about using for. I tested them. I was up in Arctic Valley up the top of the ski pass. It was about 5-7 degrees, wind temp of -10 probably. It was blowing 40-50 miles an hour. I should have got video of that. You're just blowing snow everywhere. It was cold, and I sat out there with out in that cold for quite a while chasing ptarmigan, and I'll tell you what I thought of those gloves. But we're going to walk around a little bit more so we can find something to shoot, and we'll talk to you about what these gloves have in them. How do I think they work? Are they the good photography glove? And I believe they're the PGYTECH Master Photography Gloves. I think it's what they're called. If not, I'll have the name up here somewhere. But they have the finger breakaways. We'll talk more in detail what the glove is here in a minute. But I like them. They're the best ones I think I've used so far, but we'll talk more about the pros and cons on here in a second. So talk to you in just a few minutes.
Oh, here the ocean is near, but you dug a hole and buried my fear. And we scattered like trees, sometimes in line, but I'm down all the time.
I thought I saw something.
You wait, but still it's trouble by trouble by trouble by trouble too late. It's all trouble by trouble by trouble by trouble now.
Sounds like a car backing up.
Yeah.
Me and Heidi were over down there, and it came down. It sounded like like the whole world was coming. It was behind us on that hill. And she also, a little early for it, but we had a gray whale surface right out there.
Really?
Yeah. It was probably from here to that fourth row.
Okay.
That's close to the shore. Came up. I just saw a little above the back. She saw it completely surface. I just saw a little bit of it going down. But yeah, I've seen orcas come all the way in there. Yeah, same in Rick's Bay.
Oh, such a gorgeous view.
So let's talk about this glove from PGYTECH. So you show them the glove here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's really cool glove. It's heated gloves. So I wish I had mine on here. They've got 3M insulated inside. I don't know how many grams of thinsulate are in there, but it has thinsulate in it, so that's going to help keep it warm. But it's also heated, and so in here you have this right here is a strap. So it's just like your ski gloves if you guys wore those. So this can go, which we don't have. To me, it's a nuisance, but you put it around your wrist, this piece here, and that keeps it when you take your gloves off, you don't lose your glove. You have right here, you have a power switch. You hold it about 5 seconds, it'll come on. You have 3 settings of power in it. You also have a wrist strap. It has a mitten type thing that will go over your first 4 fingers here. It has a little magnetic stuff like all of them do to keep it back. It folds back really well. And when I was using the glove, this really it was out of the way. It doesn't really flop or it kind of breaks away on its own, stays really well. It has the same as like most photography gloves. You have your, I don't know why I'm doing this, you could have done it yourself. Each of your fingers is a magnetic thing that'll pop them back. You can get those 3 fingers on both hands going on quite well.
I like the magnets.
The one suggestion I'd probably make to PGYTECH is probably should make a right-handed and left-handed version of this glove. I know if you make one, it works good for both. Yeah. But if they had the left hand where you don't have the breakaways on the left hand, because as right-hand photographer, I don't really need those fingers on my left hand. I need it on my right hand. I really only need 2. I don't need the third one, but some people do use a couple buttons on the front or the top, but those break away because the glove for the heat is really good to me. Like I said, I had it up in that cold of Arctic Valley where I've got a wind chill of -11 at least, and it was windy, so that wind's howling and against that, so that makes it even feel colder when that wind's hitting you. And they stayed really warm. What I noticed on this glove is the heat is on the back part of the glove. It's on the back part of your hand, and the glove stays warm. The heating goes up to your first knuckle. It doesn't do the fingertips, but it stays pretty warm. But that's what I like about it. And then if you need to, you can always go ahead and put the mitten part down real quick for it. So, so it has a mitten piece on it that you can put over your first 4 fingers. So it works like a mitten and a glove. So it's really cool there. And what I noticed in that cold, and my hands are getting a little cold.
Yeah, mine are nice and warm. Oh,
so,
yeah. Not cold at all.
The thing I noticed about it, and you mentioned this too, was what did you say when you were testing them first?
Oh, yeah. When I first tested them, it was like...
Are they getting warm or hot?
Right, yeah. Are they?
So I thought the same thing, because usually when you got a heated glove, you're like, my hands are getting
on
hot.
fire. Yeah, it's like turning the seat warmer on in the car.
These gloves feel just like you're in warm, in a warm, what's the word I'm looking for?
It just keeps...
lukewarm temperature. It doesn't feel like it's super hot or super cold.
Exactly. It's like being at room temperature.
As soon as you take that glove off.
Right. It's cold.
So you can feel
I can feel the difference.
But that's what I think is really interesting. And I think it's because the way the video I watched on it, it has a little the way that it's not just a simple long wire. It's some little circular wires that are in there. And maybe that's just spreading the heat out. But I noticed that my hand didn't feel hot or anything, but it was warm. And
I think that's what's really nice about them, that it's like room temperature, so you're not getting sweaty.
Yes.
And you don't have all that sweat buildup in there.
That's what I really liked. And it keeps it really warm. And it has a strap on there that works really good. Like I said, 3 settings of heating. First thing Cassie said, she put them on, she goes, I can really move my hands really well. Yeah. Now, she has on the large set. They sent this large set to me originally. Were too small for me. I had them send me another pair of the XL, because PGYTECH sent me these gloves, just to be honest. And because none of the stores carry them that are around here, PGYTECH gear. So at PGYTECH, I have to order regardless. And I've ordered a lot of their stuff. I've got some little tripods. I ordered myself another one, which I got to buy another one of those because it got stolen, was the card reader case and these gloves. And so they sent me the XLs. Now the XLs, I don't have really huge hands. I am 6'5", so I have decent sized hands, but they're not huge.
Pretty big.
Yeah, not huge. I know a lot of people that got meat puppets for hands, and I don't have that. And the XL gloves, largest ones to me were, they fit, but they were snug. Like yours aren't snug on you.
Mine are
got
perfect.
Plenty of room in there.
And what size are these?
Those are large.
Large, and so they fit me great.
Yeah, you can
and I have a regular size.
Yeah, you can probably go to the medium, but they were cut, to me, they're cut a little bit small. So you have really big hands, they may not fit. I don't know. Just there's a sizing chart on their site to look at it. But to me, that they were a little stiff in the finger where the pop-off glove. For Cassie, they're not. They were really probably mine just a little bit small for me. Yeah. But she doesn't have a problem when it's covered over. Yes. You don't have that much problem.
No problem. No stiffness. No.
Another thing is the palm on these are leather. And so I would suggest, and you can hear them, when yours a little softer than the pair I had. Right. This one's a little stiffer, that one's softer. I think if you put a little mink oil on there, that's going to make them soften it up
a little.
And using them more, I used mine for about 2 weeks, and they were getting a little better, because they were breaking in a little bit, because they do have leather and the same type of stuff used like your ski gloves you find. Really good. But you've been operating the camera with it.
It's been really great. I think what I like the most is how functional my fingers are when I'm moving all my dials and buttons. Because usually when I go and shoot the Northern Lights, as soon as I start shooting, I am yanking my gloves off and throwing them away because I can't move these dials and I want to get the shot. Or if we're out here today, if something is happening fast and I want to get it, it's like the gloves go flying off because my gloves always restrict me from moving these as quickly and as easily as I want to. And all day today when I've been shooting with these, it's been wonderful. There's no tightness in the bend, so I can maneuver my dials and my button, and I never once felt like I need to yank these off, which is great.
When I was shooting with it, that's what I noticed. When I popped it, when I have it closed off, it felt a little tight because it was sitting right in the gap of my finger. So, but after the last couple of days before they got stolen, thank you guys. Somebody's got some nice heated gloves now. It was breaking a little bit more, but when I broke it back, when I was shooting out, chasing those ptarmigan in that cold, it was easy to get to the gear. That bend was real easy and moving my fingers. I didn't really feel like I had a glove on. I mean, I knew I had a glove on, but I didn't really feel it, which was really good because you don't want your gear to be, you feel it. When you're in the moment, you want to be shooting and forget about all your gear. You don't be flapping with, finger thing getting moved or something. Right. The other photography gloves I have, like I said, first thing I do, these 3 fingers are frozen, especially these 2. Within every pair I have, and I have some expensive, I bought a pair that was $150 photography gloves. Not the, these are rated for -20 or something like that.
Right.
Those 2 fingers on both hands were frozen. The first time I took it off, and now of course I was shooting, it was the base temperature was -20. Not shooting, my hands were cold. Maybe nothing would have helped then, but the other thing about when I was shooting at other temperatures was where that grabbed. These aren't, they don't have a big elastic like grab. The other ones really grabbed my finger, and it really didn't, I could feel it all the time. It was just bugging me.
You feel restricted.
Yeah. And of course I talked about the mittens and other things, and I'm taking the gloves on and off like what Cassie's just talking about, but these worked really good. Now, those are the positives. Where again, where the heating elements are is on the back of the hand, down to the knuckle on each finger. The palm, I may have heating, but I can't feel it. I don't feel, you know, when you kind of feel it against your face or kind of feel what the heat is, I can feel the heat everywhere, and it's warm. You also have on the back of the glove right here, you have a zipper. So this mitten part does not have, as far as I know, from what looking at everything, there's no heat in the mitten. It's just in the glove part. But in here you have a zipper where you can put one of those little heat packs in it. So you got the little shake heat packs, you can drop it in there. So that's a little extra heating if you need it. That flips around. When that mitten flips around, go ahead and put it back on. What I noticed is it flips over your fingers real easy.
Oh, so easy.
I thought I was going to have to really struggle. You kind of did a little bit there, but they pop in. But it's still really, for the left hand, I probably would keep it down most of the time.
And that is something I noticed too.
Yeah.
This on a lot of gloves is very hard to get on and off, and it's very easy on this.
Unless they're like the really big, you know, big. I've got a pair of ice fishing mittens that have where you can do that. That has a little thinner glove on the fingers, and they're so big. It kind of goes way back in the palm. It's nice, but most of these like this. Yeah, it's nice. And like I said, this part's not heat unless you put something in here. Oh, I can feel the heat.
Yeah,
so I
know. It's so warm and toasty.
Yeah, because when she's trying them in the truck, she goes, "Well, these on? I don't feel." And I said, "Well," well, let's get outside.
Wait till we're cold. Yeah.
And now I can feel the heat on that real quick.
My fingers feel great.
Yeah. I'm right here, just back and forth into my pockets. But we'll go into some cons on this glove a little bit. So every photography glove or everything has a con, and the pros on this thing is warm, it's easy to use, hands, the mitten, the heat, all that stuff is really good. We'll talk about operation, turn it on, how the battery works, put it in here in a second. But what I found was my thumb and finger, when this is back, again, it's really cold out there and the wind's blowing, the wind's going in there. These 2 fingers started to feel cold. Now, not like other gloves. They were, I could feel they're getting cold, like my hands are right now before I put them back in my pocket. It's feeling a little cold. Now, this is after being out for about 30, 45 minutes in that extreme. -11 wind chill, that wind blowing. Now, today, you probably not feeling anything on those 2 fingers. If it's, 20 or below, you may start feeling that. But it's not cold where you say, okay, I gotta go, I gotta get back in the heat. It wasn't that cold, but it's cold where you say, it may start feeling cold in a minute. And what I found is if I put this mitten over my finger, right there, that went away on this finger. But the thumb still felt cold. It felt like it was gonna get really cold. That's the coldest I've been out in. We haven't had any temperatures that have been too warm lately to get up into these -20s, -30s, which we do get sometimes out shooting Aurora. I didn't have any of that. But that's the only thing I noticed. I could get this index finger back warm. The thumb would be kind of cold, but not. But if I put it in my hand, put the glove in my pocket for a minute or two, it went away. And then I probably had another 5 or 10 minutes before I start feeling that cold again. And that's just because these thumbs break away, and you have this little bit of where air can get in. It was so windy, that wind was getting up in those 2 where those were open. But I did notice it on the middle finger, the same way I did the index finger on that. I don't know if maybe it comes around, but that's the only negative I've had on the glove. And I think that's inherent on every breakaway finger glove. You're going to have that. There's air that's going to get into it, but I can negate it real quick by doing that. But all the other fingers and the ease of use on that has been really good. So other features on the glove is you have a wrist strap to tie it down. Like I said, with the gloves I had, I left it open because it was too tight there. I could do maybe just like that, but you'd have to really break it in. But like I said, the sizing is an issue, so I guess there's 2 cons there. It's not really a con. Right. It's just a sizing issue, and the thumb was one that all the other photography gloves I've used have breakaway fingers. They're just, my fingers are frozen.
Right.
These work really good. The next thing is how this works. So to turn them on, you've got a power button. You hold about 5 seconds. You have 3 settings on this one. And this one's died already. The battery's dead on that one. So you have 3 settings. You have 1, 2, 3. They're blue, white, and red. So for the battery, hand me the glove there real quick.
Absolutely.
No, the other one?
Oh,
the dead one.
Yeah.
So
the dead. Here you go.
So dead glove.
Now my hand's going to get cold.
So these have a little, I believe it's a lithium ion battery that's inside here. Real simple little guy. I can get it out of here. So there's a little pocket here that has Velcro.
And the nice thing too, you don't ever feel that tension on your
Yeah,
wrist at all.
And the reason never
does.
It's on the bottom.
Right. Yeah.
I could feel it because you're resting on something.
Right.
But when I got outside shooting, I noticed it. So
Yeah.
it's got a little lithium ion battery here. And you can hit the little button on the back. It'll tell you what the charge is. And this one is dead because no, it's got one charge.
Oh, does it?
Enough. Yeah, it's got one little bar. So it's got 4 little bars, tells you the charging. You charge by USB-C right here on the side. And then inside the glove has a little USB cable. All you do is put that in there. There's a little pocket in here that you put it back into. You just slide it back in there. You slide it on its side. I put the little cable towards the back, slide it in there. Real simple to use.
Yeah.
I'll tell you how to use it. And there's a Velcro little thing in there that does it. Cassie wants her glove back.
Yeah, my hands
Her hand's getting cold. But yeah, so real quickly, they're a great glove. I'm really happy with them. The glove runs about $130, I think, US. If I've got it wrong, I'll put it up here.
Okay.
For PGYTECH, and so far, they're my favorite glove. Now, PGYTECH sent me the gloves, and Cassie's getting a pair for free. Mine got stolen out of the truck. So my level of liking these is, I'm ordering me a pair.
Yeah.
So I'm just like you guys. I get some stuff sent to me, and I'll tell you if they sent it to me. And I wish I still had the gloves, but I'm out $130. So I lose money on this video.
Yeah.
This video may make $50. And I'm buying 30. So I've lost $70 on this video because PGYTECH sent me a pair of gloves. But Cassie's got some good
I'm up
Christmas
on
present.
this deal.
She's happy now.
I'm very happy.
Shoot the Aurora. They're really, really good. I'll
These
put
have
up,
been amazing.
if there's a rating on this, I'll put the rating up there for the cold. But they're the first heated glove I've found that works for photography. They're the first glove that I found that has a breakaway finger that doesn't freeze my hand off. And I was in cold temperature, cold enough to be able to feel it. I got in the snow, I was on the ground and all that stuff. I had no problems with gloves working the camera. They're really good. I'm really surprised. Like I said, if I'm spending money out of my pocket to buy, especially $130 for a pair of gloves in Alaska, and I've got a lot of photography gloves, and some of them are 10 years old, and I go try them again, and they just, excuse my language, they just suck.
Yeah.
And I haven't found anything that I really like, and I'm happy with these. They're like I said, they're made kind of like ski gloves, but they have that breakaway. I like them.
Yeah.
So lucky Cassie, I'm gonna have to wait for
excited.
PGYTECH to send me a pair. I'm gonna have to order a pair online today because that just happened yesterday with the theft. So that's about it, guys. This is beautiful here. We're losing. It's just snow. It's weird.
Yeah.
Is around us right now. I would say the clouds are anywhere from 500 to not even 1,000 feet, and it's snowing there, and we are dry as a bone right here, but we can see the snow on the mountains everywhere, and we can see the snow coming down and nothing. We haven't had a lot of wildlife we've seen a couple mergansers and a cormorant out here a little farther out, but we've had some beautiful landscape opportunities. I don't do a lot of landscapes. I do some. You do more than I do, and Heidi does a lot of landscapes.
She does a lot.
But today is a landscape day, and it's beautiful, and I see that way with the trees, the fog,
that's
that we're gonna have to go get some shots of. So we're gonna go do that and enjoy the rest of our day, and you guys enjoy your day. If you shoot in the cold, check these gloves out. I love them.
I'm a fan.
I am too. I spend money. But until I talk to you guys next time, get outside and go run that shutter.